Toronto by Fawiba Kanafani, who volunteered for the Free Syria Army, and here by Dr. Hálة Diyab, who thinks outsiders should not arm rebel groups. Why do you think that?
For many reasons, actually. First, because arming the rebel group will not end the crisis in Syria. The more weapons the West can give to the rebels, the more arms Assad will take from Hezbollah and also from Iran. Secondly,
so
also...
just ramp it up, is it?
Yeah, it will increase the conflict in Syria. Secondly, we need to be really defining who are the rebels in Syria. Are they the political opposition, or are they the military opposition inside Syria, Free Syrian Army, or are they the Islamist opposition who wants to get rid of the regime and to build Islamic State? That is
the possibility of an Islamic State in your country.
Because as a Syrian woman, I don't want to go back to Syria for an Islamic state. I want a state that has a civil rights, equal rights to women, and democratic free. And Islamic groups will never ever respect civil rights or democracy.
Well, let's go over to Toronto and Ms. Kanafani. I mean, do you accept that Syria has now become the world's #1 destination for jihadis, and that is a big problem?
Yes, that's true, actually, because nobody can see what's happening in Syria, from raping Muslim women, from killing children, slaughtering kids, small young kids, babies. Nobody can shut up and look at all these crimes and continue not taking revenge from Al-Assad regime for doing this.
But surely then the whole question of sending arms to rebel forces means some of those arms will end up in the hands of jihadis, Al-Qaeda fighters, and it will cause immense problems in the future for Syria.
Well, al-jihadis people and Al-Qaeda and all these radical elements, they already have arms, they already have weapons. You don't know from where they get weapons. So it's really not going to change nothing. You can see now the FSA guys, because they don't have weapons and they are not arms, they leave the FSA and go join those jihadi people. We have been explaining this a long time back.
Just explain that bit a bit more. Why do they join the jihadis then? Just because they've got the guns? Is that what you're saying? So if the West were if the West or other countries were to arm the opposition, you say it would diminish the influence of the jihadis. Is that right?
It will reduce pumping people to those jihadi troops, because those jihadi troops, or Al-Qaeda, whatever you want to call them, their number is getting increased because they are establishing very good, like you can say, organizations or big huge number of troops in Syria, and because people are not getting arms, they go to those people, join them, because they want to fight Al-Assad, they want to bring him down.
We all know that the Free Syrian Army have arms from Qatar that's coming to Syria through Turkey, and also that Saudi Arabia has been supporting the Free Syrian Army from the beginning of the revolution with arms. And we have seen Free Syrian Army people actually fighting in Syria, not with swords and knives, with guns, which have been even sold to them by some corrupted, soldiers from the National Syrian Army. Now, this doesn't mean we legalize to have Al-Qaeda in Syria. No excuse should be given to have terrorism to happen, to take place in Syria.
But do you understand the argument which goes, the quicker this is over, the fewer people will die, the more guns that come into the opposition, the quicker it will be over, and there is no negotiated settlement. I mean, we hear that the Assad forces are bombing bread queues. There's not going to be a negotiated settlement.
But there is also war crimes happening, and this is from international reports, that even the opposition themselves and even the Free Syrian Army, they have done war crimes in Syria. So both parties are criminals. Both parties are using violence in order to destroy Syria, but both in their own ways. What we Syrians want, we want to end this conflict in Syria. We want peaceful, diplomatic solution. And if the international community is capable of really arming the rebels, we are really calling the international community to put an end to the Assad regime and really to force Assad for a transitional government, because we don't want violence to be a force of a change in Syria.
Let me bring in this Kanafani again. I mean, do you
لك انت كافر، بس هيقول عليك شويه حاجات لو حطيتها مع بعض تقول ان انت كافر. ما تفهمنيش غلط، هو مش بيكفرك كونك ان انت ما تعرفش دينك، ما عندكش دين معادي للشريعه.
لكني أشاهد ناس في كثير من المجالات متمسك بدينه ويقول أنا علماني.
ما كذب ولا تحصل، ده ضد الدين 1000 مرة، ويعمل ولا يشوف قاعد متدين.
معادي للدين ما تخليكش كافر خالص.
ده ضد الدين 1000 مرة، ويعمل ولا يشوف قاعد متدين.
وهو ده أصل المشكلة، تفسيرهم هم وفهمهم للدين. هم بيبصوا لينا مش كمسلمين او مسيحيين، لا، ككفار منافقين اعداء دين واعداء ربنا.
يبقى لما يجي واحد علماني ايه الفرق بيني وبينه؟ ما تقولوش بقى فصل الدين عن الدوله ومش عارف الكلام اللي مكتوب في الكتب الخير، لا، تقول له اللي بيني وبينك انت بتقول ان الحكم الا للبشر وانا بقول ان الحكم الا لله. ادي العمليه.
لا يوجد مسلم علماني، عايزين يخلونا مسلم علماني، فنقول ما ينفعش. يبقى ازاي مسلم علماني؟ ما ينفعش، لا يستوي الامر، لا يستوي.
العلماني هو الذي يريد ان يعزل دين الله عن الحياه، ما فيش حاجه اسمها دين.
اقول له المعادله بسيطه جدا، زي ما انتم معتبريننا مش مسلمين، انتوا بالنسبه لنا ولا شيوخ ولا علماء. دلوقتي بيقولوا انتوا ضد الشريعه،
ده ضد الدين 1000 مره، ويعمل ولا يشوف قاعد متدين.
ما عادش حد بياكل من الكلام ده خالص. الدين اللي بتصدره لنا ده احنا ما نعرفوش خالص. الدين اللي بتصدره لنا ده احنا ما نعرفوش خالص.
يا اخي قله ادب. العلمانيين